Thank you so much for keeping it Good Morning Kenya. If you're just joining us, karibu tena sana. My name is Jane Wambui. As always, we are glad you are with us this far that we have come through Good Morning Kenya. And as always, we'd love to know where you're watching us from. Talk to us. Our official communication platforms ever remain open. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. Official station handle is at KBC Television. My handle is Jane Wambui. Our Facebook page is KBC Channel 1 TV. And our SMS number is 20154. And kama kawaida, we appreciate a name and location from wherever you're watching this from this morning. So right now we want to move on to another discussion that is, just going to make you think about your life and just try and see all those things that you take for granted. You know, many a times we have so much, but we always choose to look at what we don't have and, just forget to appreciate what we have. And we live always wanting more and never appreciating what we have. So today we have one gentleman with us in studio this morning. He is called Daniel Odongo. He goes by the alias The Blind Pilot. Karibu sana.
Asante.
We're so glad you're with us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
He is a trainee pilot and also the founder of Blind Pilot KE. Maybe you could start by giving us social media handles so that our viewers can also get in touch with you as they talk to us.
On Twitter, you can get me on Blind Pilot Kenya. On Instagram at Blind Pilot Kenya. On Facebook page, Blind Pilot Kenya.
All right. So as we proceed on with the discussions, those are his social media handles. You can always interact, can get to him directly or use our official communication platforms. Karibu sana.
Asante.
So glad you made time to be with us this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Now, for many are wondering, okay, why did I have to say what I said in the intro? But, that is what we want to get into and just get to understand your journey. And, let's start with the alias that you go by, the Blind Pilot. Maybe we could start with why you called yourself the Blind Pilot to date.
As I've mentioned about being Blind Pilot Kenya and the first pilot with disabilities in Kenya here, if you trace my footprints from Kibo School for the Blind, Thika High School for the Blind, and finally at Kenyatta University for doing special needs education, where I did visual and HI options. Now, I was born blind and had to go through a lot of trauma of having that disability. Everybody looks at the box and see disability in the box. I also saw the same disability in the box, but I decided to think otherwise and think outside the box, and this is how I was able to find my way out of the box, and then I made my way to be a pilot.
Look at you now.
Yes.
But let's just go back to where it all began. When you were younger, at what age you were born blind?
Yeah, I was born blind.
But at what age was it discovered?
It was discovered after 3 years.
When you were 3 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
And this was because of a problem that came at home.
It was an incident that happened?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
My father asked me to go and bring a spoon that was on the stool somewhere there in the kitchen. So instead of going to pick the spoon, I decided to hit the stool and then fall down. So I was trying to find out where I can get this spoon by trying to touch on the ground. Eventually he discovered that, hey, my son is blind.
Okay.
And being the last one in the family of 9, of course, had issues. Then from there, marriage problems here and there. Now my mother decided to take me to her mother, that's my grandmother, and I was brought up at my grandmother's place. I never had a chance to go to school from 1995, because I was born in 1992, up to the year 2000. It was only quite by chance having a Catholic nun, Sister Sophia Mtui and Sister Ignitia as well, who came at home, and they finally asked old grandmama, why is this boy at home and he's supposed to be in school?
Yeah.
And then the grandmother said, he is blind. We have never found a school for him. That's why they took an initiative to take me to Kibo School for the Blind in the year 2000. And because of my age, also because of height, I was just put in class 2 direct. But lucky enough, because I was at one point I was brought up in the convent, I knew how to speak English and Swahili perfectly, and I know how to pray the rosary. So it gave me at least an upper hand to be in class 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, just looking at, what you have mentioned, the fact that, disability wasn't something that was as appreciated within your family setup, at least back then. Did your parents understand, that, you were actually blind, or they just looked at it as a disability and, just cast a judgment already without trying to understand how to go about in helping you?
I think disability meant by disability is not that easy as we say, because every parent will say, oh, I've accepted, but true. Accepting is not that easy.
Okay.
So, but I thank God because of having also an older person, the family, that grandmother, and also the sisters from the church, they're able to understand.
Okay.
They've handled this issue, they know They'll tell you, no, you even help the other person, this person, just come and stay with us in the convent. That I was able to get my way out.
Okay.
Yes.
And you said you were the last born among 9 children.
I'm the last born in the family.
You were
of
the
9.
only one who was born with a visual impairment?
Yes, I'm the only one who has a disability in the family. But I thank God because out of that disability, I'm the one who's also having a unique profession.
Yes.
From teaching to a professional
to being a pilot. And also just looking at your siblings, how was the relationship with your siblings?
Of course.
Given you are the last born, najua last born huwa anabembelezwa kila mahali.
Not really. In my case, it was very different. Being brought up at my grandmother's place, nobody used to come and visit me. Nobody used to come and visit my grandmother.
So you're the only one who went to live with your grandmother. Your other siblings remained with your mom and dad?
Yes, they're very comfortable enjoying their life. Yes. And you see, also this kind of difficulty also comes around, especially when I was going to the university. When I told people that I'm going to the university, they say, no. With that kind of a disability, you can't make it to the university.
It is not possible.
It is impossible.
All right.
And you see, in the family, only 2 of us went to the university. The one that I follow was done economics from Kenyatta University. And he used to boast around and say, oh, I'm the only one who's going to the university. But he was so much shocked to hear that I'm also doing the same university where he was.
All right. Now, when you had mentioned now, you got to, the nuns got to take you in and they took you to school, straight to class 2. Now, how was it adjusting to school? Because it's the first time you're going there and, everything is new. You do not know how to use the braille. How was it going through primary school?
At the convent, we had so many young people, and especially young children we could play around with. Some of them came from St. Anne's Primary School, St. Peter's Primary School in Mumias there. So at one point or the other, I could even try to attempt to go to the class. So when I go to St. Anne's Girls Primary School, they ask me, you are a boy, why are you coming to this school? I told them, okay, I'm eager to learn.
Yeah.
I go another day to St. Peter's Boys Primary School, they asked me, can you do the board? I can't see anything. He said, now you are blind, you can't be able to be helped in this institution. So I had that eager. So at home, I could ask them, what have you learned? Alphabetical letters, pronunciation, all these. At least I had a clue. So
you had an idea of
class,
what goes on in class.
It was so easy for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And now adjusting to now, just getting to actually learn and use the braille. How was that process?
For me, it was very enjoyable because I was looking forward to be a student or to be a pupil in the school. Imagine in a whole family of about 20 plus in a convent. You're the only remaining in the convent with a very old nun praying for you. So ask even nun, if you pray for me, will I be a teacher? If you pray for me, will I be this? So they say, yes, of course, you need to have that faith that one day you're going to make it in life. And it has really happened.
All right.
Yes.
And when you were still very young at the convent, did you still want to be a pilot? Do you have an idea of what a pilot was? What did you want to be when, you grew up?
I knew I'll spend most of my time in the clouds because every other time I go outside, I used to look up in the skies. So they could ask me, are you looking for God? Are you looking for something that you lost there? I told them, I just want to be up there. And this is how I maintain that kind of knowing that one day I'm spending my time in the clouds.
But you weren't sure about being a pilot at least then?
I was not very sure.
All right.
Yes.
Remember, you can always send through any questions, comments, clarifications, and compliments in regards to this discussion. The hashtag still is Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Our SMS number is 20154, and our official station handle is at KBC Television, and our Facebook page as well is KBC Channel 1 TV. Now, you managed to finish primary school?
Yeah, it was with a lot of struggle.
Yeah.
From class 2, I worked my way out. For the first time, I was position 5 out of 9. I was beaten thoroughly by the Catholic nuns. They told me, why are you disappointing us? You have struggled to get your school, and they're giving us this kind of position marks. But next time, the following term, I was there for second term. Third term, when I came, I had to catch up with other students very well.
Yeah. And
I kept leading the class from class 2, third term up to class 8, when I had 391 marks.
You finished class 8 with 391 marks.
Out of 500.
Out of 500.
Take a high school for the blind.
Imagine.
Yes.
Now, going to high school.
High school, it was so tough, but at least I knew I had a vision and my dream was coming true. Now that I've had these 391 marks, and you see, even from the family, whoever has ever performed very well had 348 marks. So at least now even dad, mom will say, oh, our child, our son will make us happy one day.
Did they ever come to look for you the entire time you were at the convent?
They used to come to the convent, especially after now having scored 391 marks out
When
of
you finished
500.
class 8?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and as they came to realize, kumbe I can also make it. As much as I'm disabled in one way or the other, kumbe our son can also make it.
And how did that make you feel?
Of course, I never knew these people. They were very strange to me. Yes.
It was the next time you were seeing them ever since you left for your grandmother's?
Yes, at the age of 3 years. And here people coming when you're about 14, 15. So ask yourself, who are these? And the sister is telling you, this is your father, this is your mother. Yes.
All right. So it was a bit hard to get to bond with them once more.
It wasn't that easy, and lucky enough, because my dad had retired now, he's at home, and my mom, he just used to be a housewife at home. And Thika School for the Blind, and being that I was born in Mumias, it was very far. So even getting time for them to come to Nairobi, come to Thika School for them, it was hard for them. And I was very comfortable. And by the time I was joining Thika High School for the Blind, I had an opportunity to come and stay with the Catholic nun. We have another house at Adams. So I used to, from school, I go to Adams. From school, I go to Adams. Now, a problem now comes when I'm getting to the age of 16, 18, then you're being told that you're no longer going to stay with us because, you know, you're a male.
The convent.
And the convent cannot allow you because you're only here females. So I had to find my way out at St. Maura's in Mathare here. I used to stay with Father CK. Then their life now starts to be a little bit bitter for me. You know, you're staying in Gong Road, you know, you're here, now staying in Mathare. From there, 2008 there.
That was after you had finished high school?
No, when I was just
when you were still in high school?
Yes.
Now, what are some of the challenges that you encountered when you were going through high school education?
Of course, that you know, the way you bond together with other students is a new environment. There's a very stiff competition. There's a lot of expected from you. The principal comes and says, see what you're our index 1. We need you to give us this performance. We need to give us this A. We need us to give an A minus. A lot of pressure here and there. But I thank him because Mr. Kamo was very strict. I could score below A minus.
No jokes.
Yeah. And I don't want you to become just a mere teacher. I want to become something different.
A very good one.
Yes. Now, also friends see, you know, these are, you know, get into different communities. You used to maybe speak mother tongue, you used to speak Luo language at home because you're well bonded together. And I just find a different environment. Sometimes it's too cold. It's not like the way it was in Kisumu, weather's just drastically changed. So you look at it and say, hey, what kind of environment is this one? But I had to struggle here and there. I made it. I had a B minus of 53 points, though my principal was not very happy with me. But to me, at least it was an achievement.
It was
also
something.
using a braille machine and you're reading with fingers, you know, a lot of work. There are so many diagrams. You try to complain, but nobody will ever listen to you. Yes.
So with a B minus of 56 points.
53 points.
53 points.
Yes.
You managed to go to get a spot in the university.
Tell
us a bit about how that came to be.
Now, I finished my Form 4 in the year 2010. The results came in the year 2011. I knew I'd made to the university with a B minus of 53 points. Now my brother was there, by then was a second year at Kenyatta University, and by then used to attach like a list of those students who are coming to join the university. So he goes, looks there and says, no, my brother's name is not here. It is by mistake you're not here. So I told them, now how? Was the university stupid enough to give me admission letter that doesn't have the seal, doesn't have a rubber stamp? You see, like it was just like a paper.
So you actually got the letter?
I got the letter, but they were saying this letter is not genuine. Either go to
Who
River
said
Road,
it wasn't genuine?
My brother, the Catholic one used to sponsor me. He said it was not genuine because it doesn't have a rubber stamp. We don't know who signed it. He said in a black pen. And this year I told them, now look at me, I don't see. Even if you told me about rubber stamp, I said I know this, me, I don't know them. How do you help me out? They said, Dan, I think because we went to Mathare, there are people who taught you how to become, you know, you're not straight.
So they thought it was a forge.
Yes.
You had forged it. So
I told them, well, good. So I had to spend a whole year 2011 at home and part of 2012. And I said, no. I've been a leader at Thika School for the Blind, and I've been taught how to go and fight for my rights. So I left Mathare on foot, slowly by slowly, Roysambu, I was at Zima, I was already at Githurai, Kenyatta University. When I got to Kenyatta University, I asked the one in charge of admission, Dr. Sembauni, Doctor, why do you take advantage of me giving me a fake admission letter? He said, no, this is a genuine admission letter. She checked in the records, she saw I had qualified to be there in the university, and I was the first on the list because at that year I was the best with a B minus of 53 points. So she said, if you don't trust my word, then let me take you to academic registrar. So she took me in her car, she took me to the registrar. Registrar said the same, Dr. Nyaga, why do you take advantage of me? You give me a fake admission letter, doesn't have a rubber stamp. We don't know even who signed this letter. He signed a black pen. And he said, no, these are genuine admission letter. Bring the file. So we took the file, went to the Professor Olive Mugen, who was the VC by then. So she looked at me and said, now, how do I help you? This letter is genuine. Are you willing to come to school and study? I told them, yes. In fact, even right now, I'm not even willing to go back at home. No, we can't allow you to admit you like this. You need school fees, you need this. I told them, look here, when I finished Form 4 in the year 2010 until today, I've been just repairing people's shoes, washing people's clothes, you know, and I'm struggling with that. If you have mercy for me, please, just allow me to be in the university. Because you see, Professor Mugene, she was an old person, a motherhood, you know, she has all those kind of characteristics. He said, okay, please take him to our guest room. Okay. As I got admission to Kenyatta University.
And you started studying right away?
Yeah, and I got a scholarship from Professor Mugenda of about 30,000 for the whole one academic year. Yeah. That is when now my brother called sister and telling me, oh, see what sister, Kumbe Dan had qualified to be here. It was just by mistake. It was affirmative action. I told them, no, guys.
You qualified
me well.
And you qualified well.
Yeah, I qualified.
Now, what course did you take when you first joined the university?
I did Bachelor of Education, Special Needs Education, that's Mathematics and Geography.
Was that by choice or some of the ones that you were told were, you know, available to you?
I looked at all options that were there. People asked me to go for CRE, Kiswahili. I told them, no, let me go for Geography and Mathematics. And I love doing a lot of mathematics. I love to explore the world the way it is. Kenya will move from one place to another, and because I don't have sight, I want to go there in person and see what does it feel to be here, what does it feel to be in the water, what does it feel to be in Mombasa. It's to walk a lot. And you see, I also a very active participant in music and drama in school, so I could move from one place to another. So I had that kind of, you know, characteristic in me. Say, I need to move. So taking geography was very much advantage to me. I worked my way out. By the time I was leaving, I had first class honors of 70.83. But now, to the time of graduation, I'm being called by the Senate. They asked me, who allowed to take mathematics and geography? I told them, I decided myself that I want to take mathematics and geography. They said, I take a school for the blind. When you look at your records, both from the NEC and from the school that you gave to us, the record that you given to us from school, you did option B mathematics. Why do you take mathematics option A in the university? I told them, Madam, as I had qualified, I had a B in mathematics. Why you deny me a chance for me to take mathematics? She said, no, this we can't allow you to graduate. You have to go back to class and take another teaching subject. I had to bear the same pain from 2017 to 2018 towards the end. I had to go back to school, take agriculture as a second teaching subject.
Wow.
And nevertheless, of course, I dropped a little bit to 65.85, but still somewhere there in the picture.
All right. Yes. Now, looking at universities, you know, it's a place where people come with their own formed opinions. Did you have to deal with stigmatization, especially in the class? Because, you know, especially during the mathematics class and some of those classes, because people have their own opinions about others, and this is our grown-ups. Did you have to deal with stigmatization?
A lot of it. In fact, when I was in class with my braille machine, I'm back with the braille machine, they say, please, can you remove that blind person here? He's making a lot of noise in this class.
Because of when you're keying in?
Yes. So after some time, it was so persistent, I told them, look here, guys, even you can also become blind. It wasn't my wish to become blind. So there's a time Professor Malonza, who was teaching us basic mathematics, SMA 102, he gave us a simple question about maybe like if I take E or exponential e raised to power 5. And everybody was giving the answers, they were giving wrong answers. I'm there to carry out my hand, please sir, can you also give me a chance? They said, no, you're blind, you can't even answer this one. This is very tough for you.
And so you were in class with regular pupils?
Yeah, regular with them. In fact, it was a whole LT1, if you're not in university, more than 500 plus students. I'm sitting in front of there with my braille machine. So after passing for so long, he refused. I decided now to stand on my chair, carried my braille machine up. And I said, I must answer this question. So by the time I was answering the question, from the first step, you see, reduce these functions, bring this one, bring this derivative, bring it here, And you know, he was writing on the board.
You were
and
explaining, and
yes,
then the lecturer was now writing what
on
you
the
were
board.
saying. Okay.
He said, hey, I was not expecting this answer from you. Please, the whole class, can you stand up? And they clapped for me. Since then, I made so many friends in the university. And if they say, udogo tucharaje kwa hesabu pa. Ile hesabu kushinda. Yeah, chana hii mchezo. It was so simple.
Yeah.
It's not about ice. It's about how you understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
So acceptance sort of began from the rest
From
of the
there.
pupils from that point.
Yes.
They
Even
started
the
looking
whole
at you
class.
differently, not just because they didn't just focus on, you know, the fact that you couldn't see.
Yes. And in fact, from then, I've never cooked in my house. I used to have so many friends. Oh, kuja siji Longonot. Oh, siji kuja Nyayo. Oh, siji
Kuja hapa,
siji
kuja hapa.
Msubiri. Siji, all over.
There was
I had
always
so
a
many
deal.
friends. Yes.
Okay.
So I knew I was going to make it in mathematics. Though it never went on as I was expecting, but later on, I can't complain. As much as I lost mathematics as part of my teaching subject in the university, I had now to make my way out to go now to aviation.
But
For
you know, you still gained the experience.
gain the experience.
Now, at what point did you get the opportunity to get your vision back? Was this when you were in campus or after university?
Yeah, it was back in the university.
Okay.
That was not very sure that I'm going to see because everybody will tell you I'm a preacher. I'm
How did
so
it come
and
to
so,
be? How did
I
that
can
even
pray for
opportunity
you.
present itself?
Yeah, of course I was sick of cerebral malaria. I was taken to Kikuyu here. And from Kikuyu, after being treated with malaria, I was asked whether I can go for surgery. I told them I'm not interested because I was very much comfortable with being blind because I had done so much when I was blind. But later on, I come to discover that seeing is very important. So there's this lady, Mary of Njeri at Kikuyu, one of the doctors there. She kept on persisting, please kindly, can you come for this? Can you come for this? Now when I was there, she said, no, this time around you won't leave this place. You must stay here until you do the surgery. As I accepted for the first time, she did the surgery on the right eye. Then I started percepting light. I could see some light from a distance. And I said, hey, this is how light looks like. These are things looks like. Then after some time, I also gone for the second surgery on the left eye, and I was able to recover sight on both sides of the eyes.
Did they, were they able to explain to you what condition you had and what they had to repair for you to gain your vision back?
Of course, I knew the condition which was then because I was explained by the doctor several times. They said, if you go for the side, you'll be able to see. But it's also trusting somebody that you can see. Not that easy.
It wasn't
takes time.
easy, yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
So I told them, okay, let me try. By the time I was trying, I was able to see perfectly. Yes.
And how long did it take from, you know, surgery to being able to see images and seeing people clearly?
That's taken about 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. So within 2 years, at least I was able to learn how to use a pen. I was able to learn how to drive myself, how to ride a motorbike, bicycle. See, I'm a very inquisitive person. Everything that comes around,
now
I
that you
want to
can
know
see,
how.
you might as well try everything.
Yes.
So you had to go back and learn how to write
With a pen.
with a pen.
Yes.
And read.
People, I could ask them, kindly, can you show me how to write with a pen? They look at my age, they look where I am, they say, now, oh, me talk university, what do you learn in the university? If you can't even write with a pen. But I had to begin those small kids around in the village in Madara there. What did you learn today? A, B, C, D. They showed me how to write A up to Z, 1 up to 100. So I say, okay, these are you people you are writing. And then as I came to learn.
What was the hardest bit of, you know, adjusting to having vision?
Moving, because see, like I was very comfortable moving with my hands in front, my eyes closed, and anything I could find in front of me, I could knock it down. Whether a person or an animal or a little bit rough. Yes. But now here you have to use your eyes. Sometimes they ask you, oh, ni. I'm like, no, I'm learning how to see it.
Yeah.
So sometimes the images are very different. You could see maybe like a tree and a table or something like a stone is different. That's why, like, see, most of my nails on the legs, they're not there because I used to knock myself every now and then.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, did you now want to go back to your dream of, you know, being in the sky, or that was already out of the picture? You just wanted to continue teaching?
In fact, when I used to tell people that I'm going to become a pilot, people look at me, they say, with this environment of Madhara, matopeni hii, mundika hapa hivi, unafanya repair viatu hapa hivi, and they're telling us you want to become, you're so stupid. In fact, you have a mental problem. We should be taking you to Madhara Mental Hospital. I told them, guys, look here, I'm going to become a pilot. You
Watch
could
this
argue and
space.
argue and argue and argue. They say you're so stupid. I think you're having a mental problem. You rather go take a piece of chalk and a pen and a book, go to class and teach.
Yeah.
I told them, my friend, I'm going to become a pilot. And what motivated me so much is about when I had a small gentleman who kept on holding on President Uhuru Kenyatta's jet and was given a job. And I told them, because I have a profession, I've gone through the school. I can't go holding people's jet all over, so that I get that kind of attention. Let me go there in school and in aviation school and tell people that I want to learn. But now, how do I get there? I don't have an idea of any aviation school in Kenya here. So I decided to save some coins that I had saved from this manual jobs that I've been doing in Mathare. It was about 6,000. So I boarded a jumbo jet from Nairobi to Mombasa. We only spent like about 40 minutes to be there. And on other occasions, when I'm going by bus, especially with the university buses, we could spend like a whole day or a whole night.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't know the logic behind this. So when people are getting out of the plane at remain seated, sir, how do we help you? I told them, no, I want to speak to the pilot. You have an appointment? No. How do you want to speak to him and don't have an appointment? I just want to say hi to her. Must I book an appointment? Yes. So I told them, okay, if that is the case, I don't have an appointment, but I must see the pilot. So we kept arguing, and you see, they also try to clean the place so that other passengers can also board. So the pilot, Captain Yvonne Mumie, had to spare some little time and come and talk to me because I was not willing to leave.
You were very persistent
Yes.
in wanting to see the pilot.
So she came and she said, welcome, Captain Yvonne Mumie. I've been working with Jambojet for long. How do I help you? I told her that I was born blind, but right now I have my sight partially and I want to become like you. She looked at me and said, are you in your senses? Yes, I'm in my senses. I want to become a pilot like you.
And how old were you then?
But then I was 26.
All right.
Yes. So after persisting for long, she said, okay, you can come to Wilson Airport. This is my number. I'll direct you to the school that you can do aviation, because you can't just allow you to fly this plane like this. It needs a lot of profession, a lot of training. Said, okay, well and good. So we met on Friday at Wilson Airport. We discussed. She took me to this Skyling Aviation School where she used to study some times back. Then getting there, got a fee structure of about 5 million plus. Ask them now, what is this? How do I even raise 5 million? And yet from Mathare to Wilson Airport, I've been walking. Said, now, so you want to become a pilot, you have to bear the pain.
This is what is going to cost you.
Yes.
Okay.
So I looked at her, I said, okay, what do I do here? I went, I took the fee structure. I asked them if I was to get admission, how much should I pay? They said it's about 2,000. I paid 2,000 and I went there. I used to stand on the flyover at Wilson Airport here. I could count now how many planes are coming down and how many are going up every day. I have nothing to do in Mathare, but I just wake up as early as around 4 in the morning. Walk slowly by slowly past easily there. You go to Mlango Kubwa, hizo kona, Karioko, you are at Wilson Airport. Wapi, flyover juu. You count like for almost a whole month. I said, no, this is a very stupid work that I'm doing here. Let me go back to class and study. So I went there, I told them, okay, I'm a student, I paid this money for admission later and all this. Money just about to come. So now we don't do this.
You don't work on promises.
So like once in a while, I could talk to the secretary. See that I should be in class, then money will be paid back later.
Yeah.
Yes. Said, okay, if you talked with him and you agreed, yes. I got in a class. I see the way they do the principle of flight, principle of navigation, principle of general navigation, how you communicate. This is so and so, 5 Yankee Alpha Charlie, this number, registration number of this aeroplane and all this. So I was there for like almost a whole week. Then they still discovered that I was
Before
in class.
they discovered.
And they say, you've not even paid a single coin in our class. No, this can't happen. Go back. So I told them, see, look here guys, me from Mathare. And I was told to come and start learning, but very soon money is coming. I had a sponsor.
Yeah.
I said, no, let that sponsor make
Pay
it in
first.
writing or pay that fee first. I told them, okay, and good. Then I went to media house asking them, can you host me? I'm just a mere person from Mathare. I've done this and that, and I want to become a pilot. They did that for free of charge. And within a very little time, I was able to get hold of Mama Ngina Kenyatta.
Oh.
You know, Mama Ngina Kenyatta, I was expecting a lot that I would be given the whole school fees. I told Mama Ngina Kenyatta, I'm just blind, but I want to become a pilot. In fact, this is my admission letter and everything. She let me come back. Kijana, acha mchezo. Wewe utakuwa pato una macho utaendesha ndege namna gani? Kaambia, mom, just give me a chance to try it.
Yeah.
So when I went there, I persisted like almost every morning as early as 5 in the morning. Nilikuwa kwa gate yake nimesimama. Just hit a call, mama, ule kijana amekuja. Mama, ule kijana amekuja. So they could do that for like almost a whole month. I was lucky enough to meet her on 17th of September 2018. And then she asked me, please, can you come next month? Yes. From date 1 up to date 4, I was able to be there. I talked for the Mokua. She organized some sisters. We went there to pray for her. And she said, now he has been coming here for several times here. I'm giving you 20,000. You start with these ones. So I looked at her, I said, okay, thank you very much, Mama. Is when I went to go through medical assessment. I was able to be confirmed that I'm able to read perfectly from a distance.
Yeah, because you need 20/20 vision.
Oh, this is.
Yeah.
From here, I'm able to see what is on the board there, and I could read. They said, this one has qualified to be a pilot. And you see, in last year, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, launched a policy, sector policy for learners and trainees with disabilities. I said, here, I have an added advantage.
Yes.
So I could go to status like almost every now and then. President said, if you have a problem, come through media, find him. Come through media, find him. He'll also be able to help you.
Yeah.
So I've been going there several times. You struggle. They say, Paul, have known your issue. So every now and then you see you call Winnie, his personal secretary tells you place is not in, but when he comes, we will tell him that you called and you are asking for his help. I call the Momanyi. Florence Momanyi is the secretary to the Dr. Joseph Kinyo, head of public service. We shall tell Dr. Joseph Kinyo that you called, though he's not in. So I kept on calling and arguing every now and then. They said, okay, well, enough. This year in 2019, I was ready to be the best innovative pilot. Not because I flew the plane very high in the skies, but how innovative you are in how you merge together the community. You see, people only see impossibilities, but to me, I see possibilities before impossibilities.
In every opportunity.
And those kind of obstacles, I turn them into opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, right now, I'm looking for President Uhuru Kenyatta in all possible ways. I get him anywhere. I'll tell him, now, President, you launched a policy. Nobody's implementing this policy. I'm here. I even got an invitation to go to Netherlands.
Yeah.
I don't even an air ticket. And when the one who said, if you have any problem, come through media, you'll find me, I'll help you. I need his help.
Tell us about the nomination that you got as one of the best innovative pilots.
This came about like this. Pilots, they're so busy. Not everybody is ready to interact with the community. And they see you are serving the community. You as a pilot, you cannot fly yourself.
Yes.
You are flying passengers. Passengers have problems. There are so many disabilities around. Like I went to Captain Gilbert Kibe's office and asked him, Captain, if today you become blind, what can you do to other people who are also having similar problem? He looked at me and said, young man, are you mad? Why do you wish me to become blind? I told him, no, I was in that kind of a stature and I wanted to understand where I've come from and where I am. He said, okay, how do I help you now? There are so many children in the community also have this kind of a problem, visual problem, and they are willing to work together with you so that at least you're able to give them a support. He asked me, can you go to the CSR activity, make a simple letter, then it will be brought to me here. I'll make sure that I support them.
Okay.
That's how I was able to support like about 10 children to go through surgery and they recovered their sight. And they were very happy. We have trained so many pilots, so licensed so many pilots, but none of them has ever come up with such kind of an idea.
Yeah.
That's I was ready to be the best pilot. I was featured in the magazines. All over people say, hey, the blind pilot. Challenge Captain Gilbert Kibe, who is the overall person in the KCA. And now your conduct. How do you interact with the public?
Yeah.
How do you motivate others? Because so many people want to become pilots. But you tell them, okay, me, I came from this kind of background, you know, this kind. But is it really adding up? If people are able to trace your footprints, are they able to see what you are telling them? Because people say, I was from a very poor family background, and yet your father was a PS, your father was a CS. How? It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
But now if somebody sees you from being rejected by your own family members, everybody in the family never knew that I was going to become a pilot. Here I am as a pilot.
Yeah.
I have one license, but as time goes by, I'm sure I'll be getting more licenses, like about 3 that are remaining. I've been a full certified pilot.
Tell us about your first time flying. How was that experience for you when you got into that cockpit and it was you flying that plane?
fact, they asked me, are you able to see in front? I told them, no, I don't see anything. Young man, did you bring us problems in the cockpit or what is this? This chamber can't even see in front. I'm okay, show me what you can see. Tell me what you can see. Can you see that long strip that you are seeing there? Yes. What is that? That is a windsock. And you are telling what you can't see. How come now you can see the windsock? I told them, okay, you never asked me to look for the windsock. You just asked me to look in front. What did you expect me to see?
Wow.
So from there, we became very careful with them. Went for the first lesson, second lesson, third lesson. With the fourth lesson, they gave me an airplane with that instructor, and I was able to go up in the skies. I took it up to far part of Kajiado, and then brought it back through Rongai here. I came very well, stabilizing it. You aviate to bring it up, you bring it down, you feel the warmth and how you feel that you are almost become an expert of this machine.
Yes.
I brought it out to Wilson Airport. That's when they come to discover that even being the fact that he was born blind, kumbe he can see, and within a very little time that he has had his sight, he's able to do so much with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in line also with just supporting other people that who are you know, having a visual impairment and challenges with their vision, you also started up your own consultancy to just go along with helping other visually impaired children.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Blind Pilot Kenya, the reason why I began this one was to motivate other children in the community who are having a disability, that they can overcome disability and they can make it to be also pilots or other professions. So they shouldn't look down upon themselves. Second, children living with disabilities. As much as the government has put so many policies, none of these people are able to implement. Like the one that we had recently, somebody was asking me about the polytechnics, about the children, maybe like, you know, those who have done it up to class 8 and then they are unable to go to Form 4 or to that side. You see, you can't force them to go to Form 1. Their level of understanding not even allow them to be in Form 1. You take them to a polytechnic. In Kenya, we only have two. The Sikri along Oyugis, another one is Machakos here. So you can imagine somebody from Lam, somebody from Basa, somebody from Western. How do you even get access to Machakos and Sikri? And the only two. You go there, they tell you, we don't have vacancy right now. It's full. So they came and said, okay, now that I know Mangina Kenyatta, now that I'm looking for President Uhuru Kenyatta, I'll use the same opportunity of Blind Pilot Kenya in the airport. All over, when you come and say, oh, I'm the blind pilot. Now, no, not today. Come and see me at State House. That's what he told me last. I said, okay, no problem. But now, how do I motivate these people from down here? It's always easy that you can overcome disability.
Yeah.
By first of all, looking at it from inside and outside. How do I get out of this disability? As much as I might have this disability, how do I make opportunities out of it?
Not to limit yourself.
Yes.
All right. Now, the fact that you got nominated as the best pilot for it is the International Air Transport Association. You're set to travel to the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'm set to travel on Thursday with my manager.
The day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't have even a single coin. In fact, even today, this morning, I was writing a message to Dr. Joseph Kinyo and asking him, now, why do you like Mama Ngina Kenyatta? Because you yourself, you said I should come to State House, you will present my case to the president when you're with Mama Ngina Kenyatta.
Yes.
Now, right now, I'm calling you, you're not picking my call. I'm writing you a message on WhatsApp, I only see blue tick. So I ask myself, what is this? And you see, like what I've also come to discover, you see, right now I'm under the Minister of Transport and Infrastructure, Engineer James Mashari. James Mashari, because it's got to be a competition, he sends you to Dr. Amina Mohammed because he's the one in charge of sports. Now, you look at yourself and say that if the president has given us this opportunity to have the two CS, why this person sending you to this and
Back
this person send you this person, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for sure. But I want to urge Kenyans to help me with the social media on how I can get President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because I know once I get him, I'll tell him, you're the one who launched this policy. I was able to be the best innovative pilot for the year 2019 because of the policy.
Yeah.
The policy is here. It has allowed people living, those who are living with disability, also to explore their potential. I've done it myself. I've really worked so hard for the whole of this year. I never knew that International Air Transport Association will select me, will choose me to be the best innovative pilot of the year 2019. We had forums in Mombasa, we had forums in Nairobi here on 16th of September. It was very colorful. For even the VC, the vice president for the EATA was telling me, can you get access to your president and ask your president, please don't miss this function that you're going to have in Netherlands. You're going to have a limitless captain who wants to train me to become a full pilot.
Well,
Captain Jessica Cox
yes.
from United States. After Netherlands, I'm also scheduled to go to United States of America, USA, in February, April, and also in October. You have astronauts for the visually impaired. They want to see, is Africa capable? Is Kenya capable of producing a pilot who has a visual problem and can compete with others across the world?
Yeah.
It's a new competition. Not everybody is ready to accept it. Not everybody has knowledge about it, but you know you're going to succeed. My cry to Kenyans, those who can support, they can support me.
And how can they do so? For those, at least for our viewers who are watching you right now, how can they go about with that?
As Blind Pilot Kenya had a pay bill number, which is 547421. 547421. Account number is I. Anything that you're going to donate, you're going to really appreciate so much. And also on the social media, help me to get President Uhuru Kenyatta. So as of at Netherlands, you require a flag, a Kenyan flag. Yes, of course, I was told by CS Monica Juma that you're going to get ambassador there, Jacobo Kaimenyi is going to give you a flag. But you see, he's not the commander-in-chief. The truth of the matter is the commander-in-chief is President Uhuru Kenyatta. And it's easy to access him, but the only people surrounding him, they make things to be so difficult. And I know for sure if he happens to know this, he'll be very mad with them.
Yes.
It doesn't look good.
So as it is right now, you need money for the ticket and accommodation.
Yes.
For you and another person to just, who you'll be traveling with, or you'll be traveling alone?
Yeah, I'll be traveling with my manager. We can't go alone because this is a competition.
Yeah.
You need somebody to set for you the machines. And the total cost for this trip is coming to 500,000. I'm leaving on 18th of December up to 10th of January. Whole competition. You are in Delphi, you're in Rotterdam, you're in Hague, you are Hertogen Bosch. And even the donor who supported me some times back, she said, please, can you come to our office? We want to see you. We want us to appreciate you, the effort that you've really worked so hard in school, up to the level that you're where you are as a training pilot.
Yeah.
We're very proud of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And looking at your journey, you know, from the time you were a 3-year-old who was discovered to be, you know, visually impaired up until to where you are right now, it has been a roller coaster. You have lived both in darkness and in light. And of course, you've had so many people along the journey also assist you and so many castigate you. How does that, when you look back at your life, what are those things that you are grateful for that you know you will never take for granted in as much as you have vision right now?
One, I take things in a very positive way. Second, I appreciate those people who have come in my life, both on the negative side and positive side, because they make you to become a person who you want to be or who you are. Sometimes you just find things that are right every day, and then you won't be able to know the bad side of you.
The other side, yeah.
Yes. And more so is to go back to the parents, because like the other day I was in Mihoko, I was meeting a number of parents living with disability and their children, and they were telling me that you have only been seeing on TV. But we are glad because you left your aeroplane at Wilson Airport and you came to talk to us here. If
your parents today, now?
No, those are the parents and the children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, during the Disability Day.
All right,
International Disability Day, I was in Mihoko. And I was telling them that one, we need to have hope. I need to know we need to have a future for these children. Don't just only focus where you are here, but let us now focus higher and higher. God open doors, and we go through the doors and we succeed. Yes. Yes.
Now, your parents, have you been able to, you know, be in touch with them? How is the relationship now, even with your siblings?
My parents' relationship is so good.
Yeah.
My siblings, we are trying. They're like the one that I follow. I was telling him that I want to go to Netherlands. Why do you help me out? He said, "What I can help you is to give you bus transport of 1,000 bob. You go back to the village and tell the mzee or the parents to tell me, not you to tell me directly." I told him, you see what, when I go and succeed in life, you can also have a problem. You need my support. It doesn't mean that you are successful today, you remain to be successful throughout your life.
Yeah.
Things can change. It has happened to so many people.
Yeah.
So you learn to appreciate even those who are below you, those who have not succeeded in life, appreciate them.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to parents who are having children who have disabilities of one form or the other, and, you know, they're struggling to even understand and, you know, raise these children, what would you like to say to them today, especially those who are young and given what you went through?
One, love those children, give them an opportunity to go to school, let them also learn like any other person, and especially that we are going to have more policies and the posts that have been given. And especially the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Muigai Kenyatta, he loves people living with disabilities. I've seen it myself. I was at last Madaraka Day, Mashujaa Day.
Yes.
I was in Mombasa State House. I saw a very young children from Likoni Primary School for the Blind coming to sing to the president. The president was so happy, was joining them with their dance. I've seen even Thika Primary School for the Blind, they were given a bus the other day, and it's amazing. It's only that some people, you know, were surrounding him that make it things for us people living with disability too difficult for us to access him.
Yeah.
But you know the way I'm 100% sure with the support of Kenyans on the social media, I'll be able to see him before I go to Netherlands. One, I need a flag. You can't tell me that Ambassador Jacob Kaime needs to go to give me a flag. I was even told by other journalists from BBC because they'll be covering the story from Mathare, as I'll be coming from Mathare with my briefcase to City Hopper here, boarding up to JKIA and boarding the plane. They say, please don't accept any flag from any other person apart from the president, because it is a requirement.
Yes.
Yes, it is a policy. You can't go to any other international country at
For
an
a
international trip,
competition, yeah.
and then you're being given a flag by somebody who has not been designated that duty. Or unless you say that I'll not be around myself, but I've said or I've assigned maybe Dr. Fred Matiang'i or so and so to give you the flag as you go to represent Kenya.
Okay.
I'm not going for my own personal trip, but it's about Kenya. Because very soon, even Madam CS Monica Juma will be coming to Europe to campaign for Kenya as a special envoy in the United States Security Council and also political and diplomatic secretaries. And she will also be having a rough time.
Yes.
Now it's better to make our things before we leave the country, because that's what I was told by the journalist. If she comes and we yourself haven't been supported by the same government, how will we take it really? We are human beings. Charity begins from home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, looking at the National Council of Persons Living with Disabilities, have you been able to get any assistance from the council, and how has that gone in terms of helping you along the journey in your education, getting to where you are today?
To me, I'm not that person of looking for so much or so much content with what I used to get from the Catholic nuns. And I said maybe at National Council for Persons with Disabilities, those who never had a chance to get a donor or a sponsor, let them go to those resources from National Council.
Okay.
I may not be able to speak so much about National Council, but I hear so many comments from them, which I can't want or I don't discuss them so much, because unless I go there myself to learn from them.
All right.
But there are so many complaints.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, moving forward, you've just mentioned, you need assistance to get the ticket and, accommodation to get to Netherlands. How, in what other ways do you feel Kenyans can be able to assist you in your journey?
I'm really appealing for Kenyans, people of goodwill, corporate companies, to help me how to get an air ticket, accommodation, and also air transport. We'll be translated from one city to another, Delft, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, we go to Hartingen, from Hartingen go to the north, Amsterdam. You need a lot of movements.
Yeah.
And the only support I've gotten from the government as we're speaking right now, I'll be received by Ambassador Jacob Kaime once I get to Netherlands. So that's why we say that we use our group pay bill number, which is 547421, account number I, to donate something as little as even 100, 200, 500, 1,000, to see how I can raise these 500,000. And I want to assure Kenyans, I won't let them down.
Okay.
We'll go for a very stiff competition. These are white. You see Captain Nick Vujik from Australia. There's Captain Randy from United States. There's another Captain Alberta Omweni from Canada. All of them are whites.
Yeah.
I'm the one who is an African. But because they had a lot of trust in me, and even IATA, I told them I won't let you down. I'll use all the opportunities, all the training skills that I've earned from the aviation school to make sure that I put Kenya on the front line.
Map. Have you gotten an opportunity to fly passengers within the country?
I go there as a co-pilot.
Yeah.
And just about learning.
Yeah.
And mostly, even the pilot in charge, like Captain Moha or Captain Yvonne Mumia, who gave me that opportunity, asked me now to leave with this plane, you did it by yourself. I'm okay, I'm very much comfortable. For this, one of the very best opportunities I've never had. So I do myself, I call on from the control tower. This is Captain Daniel Dongo, Secretary from Wilson Airport. I'm headed to Malindi, 5 Yankee Charlie Alpha Yankee. They gave me direction, the frequencies 12.2552. Proceed on the runway 125125. I seek another directions again. So by the time getting on the runway and I'm increasing the power here, the innovator is reading up there, and then I pull my controls like this, and the place up to the skies. Everybody's clapping for me. Says, "Hey, those are very gentle." As you climb up and you stabilize the plane, people
Take
are very
off.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
And what reaction do you get from the passengers once they come to know your story and know that you are the one who took them off and maybe landed them?
Most of them, they're always very happy. In fact, they said before, we never knew God, but right now, because I've seen you, I've done this when you are there,
Yeah.
at least I cannot believe God is there, and we can now start now go either to church or mosque or anywhere. I am a motivational speaker. I go to a number of places. I tell them, okay, you see what? God is there. Me, I was in this kind of a condition. This is who I am, and you can also make it in life.
And you can
And they
make
feel
it in
happy.
life.
They feel happy about it.
You are your own limitation.
Yes.
If you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can, you can. Now remember, we're talking to Daniel Odongo. He is goes by the alias the blind pilot. He was born blind, went through primary education blind, secondary education blind, part of his university education blind, until he got an opportunity to, get surgery done, which helped him get his vision back. Now he's living his dream of being a pilot, but it hasn't been an easy journey. It has been filled with a lot of challenges, back and forth, just trying to get to where he is today. It has always been a challenge after the other, but he chose to take on these challenges head on and not conform and say, I can't do it. How many a times do you find yourself in a situation that is challenging and you choose to say, ini ngumu sana, let me just leave it, even though ilikuwa God meant for it to be like that? Well, we take for granted some of these opportunities that we may have, and yet there's somebody out there who is just waiting for that single opportunity to just, be the gate and the door that they need through life. So we want to have a quick look at social media and see what is happening. The hashtag still is Good Morning Kenya. Our official station handle is at KBC Television. My handle is at Jane Wamboye. Our SMS number is 20154, and our Facebook page is KBC Channel 1 TV. And maybe you could remind us your social media handles once more so that our viewers can also get onto it if they haven't already.
On Twitter at Blind Pilot Kenya, Instagram at Blind Pilot Kenya, on Facebook page at Blind Pilot Kenya.
Yes.
Subscribe my YouTube account at Blind Pilot Kenya.
All right. Blind Pilot KE. Maybe Doreen, if you're ready, how are things looking on your end?
We have really amazing feedback on SMS as well as on Twitter. But before we just delve to what is happening on Twitter to try and see what Kenyans are saying in regards to the discussion you've been having, really quite enlightening. Just a story of self-acceptance as well as having the will to continue living regardless of how you were born. But coming to SMS, I can see, just someone didn't leave the name, but say that watching from Bungoma, and he's asking, have passengers ever found out that you are blind and boarded the plane while you are on duty? Yes, and I know that you've tackled that a bit, Jane. Just earlier on, you asked in the question what passengers think afterwards. But this is now before the passengers even know. Like, this is before, after.
Get on board.
After. So on that moment, when the passengers just realize that the pilot who's on board is actually blind, how do they react to that? Have you ever encountered such, and how was the response? That is what he is asking on SMS.
Go ahead and just answer it.
Normally, don't interact with the passengers before they come on board. Once you close the doors of the plane, you then tell them, I'm so and so, I was born blind, and here I'm then taking you from Wilson to Mombasa. This is our registration number for their flight, and we are expected to be there by this time, and you appreciate for accepted to board your plane.
Okay. Right. So no interaction with the passengers before takeoff.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so that's really pretty nice. So he doesn't interact with the passengers before he takes off, so he might not really know about that. But then again, also another feedback from Jack. This is Jack from Thika, and he's asking. He's commenting, and he's saying that this guy is a go-getter. So he's really commending that the fact that, yes, you decided to go the extra mile, and just to not look the fact that you were blind and to sit there and do nothing, but you did something with your life and you became everything you wanted to be. And he goes ahead and asks, but how does he maneuver turbulence? When he's actually, how does he maneuver turbulence where you have to go up or down? That, of course, this is like during trips. So how do you maneuver that? How do you just work your way around that?
Go ahead.
On the dispatch room, we also know about the weather. We'll be able to tell from Nairobi when I'm heading to Eldoret, this is what I'm going to expect. At this time, you plan yourself. In part of the planning, I'm going to use my controllers either to use elevators to take it up, or I bring it in so that I put my nose of the plane down.
Okay. I think that answers it.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about,
Yeah,
so
so
us is just to sort of imagine it.
It looks a bit technical, but I know we try and got whatever it is you want to get. But just before we move to Twitter, Jane, if you can just allow me.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I was just trying to look at some of the misconceptions, because also just from the comments on Twitter, and there will be some of the misconceptions that even people that can see have on blind people. And there are also just people trying to say that, you know, blind people have superior hearing. And of course, our guest was previously blind before he got his sight back. And I think just for the benefit of our viewers who might also just be thinking the same, is it actually true? Do blind people have superior hearing in a sense that yes, they cannot see, but now they can hear much more? Sort of like it takes up for both hearing and seeing. So is it actually true that they have superior hearing compared to, you know, people that can actually see?
Very much true.
Heightened senses.
Oh,
Very
that's
much
true.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that.
Normally, you are relying and depending so much on your ears for most part of your work, movement. You want to know about the environment, how maybe harmful it is, what to expect in the environment. You'll hear it from the environment. Even at home, if you made a mistake and mama comes with a lot of noise, of course, you know, this environment is not very comfortable for us. You have to make a change before things get to be worse.
All right. D?
Okay, and remember that you can also just continue getting in touch with us. Our SMS line is 20154, and of course on Twitter is #GoodMorningKenya, at Jane Womboy, at Ray Manyara, at Ram Aguko, and mine is at Doreen Arange. So of course our guest has actually explained that, you know, it's actually true that they really have superior hearing. But also one last, you know, thing, which is also another assumption of what people have concerning blind people, is that they need to be spoken to very loudly, and you see this is like extremely loudly. This is compared to, again, you know, the normal people. So they need to be spoken to very loudly or they won't know you are addressing them. Is that true?
Not true, because I've done ECT 200, 202 and 300 at Kenyatta University, and it's about reverberations. Like I teach, if you're teaching, you teach when you speak to your students, you face them. You don't face on the board as you speak to your students. There's what you call reverberations. The echo sound
Bouncing
and maybe
back and forth,
bouncing forward of the sounds. So it's not a must that you need to speak louder, or unless you are facing away from them, or unless you're having a distance.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so it's actually not a must to speak to them loudly. They can actually just also understand whatever you're saying in whichever language you're using. So these are just some of the misconceptions that people were having on people that are visually impaired. Now, coming to Twitter, like I mentioned, of course, the Twitter handles which you can use are various individual social media platforms, as well as also just our very own Good Morning. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. And on Twitter, I'm seeing Mary, who is at Mary, saying that innovative electronic glasses, also just showing, you know, how this innovative glasses look like, saying that they help visually impaired people see clearly. And what I'd want to find out from our guest is that, yes, even in our own country, we have the walking sticks, but are we doing enough in terms of embracing technology, just trying to bring some of these things that may make it easier for the visually impaired people to try and navigate their ways, to try and see better, as well as move, you know, with ease?
You could go ahead and just take it.
And about electronic glasses, I've not heard of them, or I've never seen them. And the fact means that if you are blind, you are blind. If you know the cause of your blindness, like mine was subluxated lenses, you didn't experiment in class 5 or class 4 there, where you make a candle to stand in front, then you make some horse and cards. So if you don't line them well, those holes, you won't be able to see that light. But if you line them very well, you're able to see that light. That's what I can explain about my condition. That was the condition. The lens had gone up, so the light could not be able to be perceived from the back of the eye, and I was unable to see. The walking stick, I've been using the walking stick, but only in a foreign environments. In the normal environments like Kenyatta University, Thika High School for the blind, Kibo School for the blind, I don't need even to use a white cane, because I know the places already.
All right.
Yes.
D?
All right, just before we move to the next tweet, again, what I would like to find out from him, just the way he's mentioned that he had been using the walking stick. So even just using matatus, how difficult or how easy was it for him? Because oftentimes you get to just hear the stories of most people that actually have this kind of disability, and they will tell you that even the conductors, they don't even want to carry them to move from one place to another because they feel like they're more of a liability. So how was it for him at that time when he didn't have his sight?
Yeah, it was so difficult for me, but one thing that I can tell you, Like on me, I know my rights, and I could force them. Bwana, wewe nisaidie, acha mambo wewe. So no, you talk to them in a very nice way.
Yeah.
By the time they feel, hey, he has already convinced me to help him cross over the road from this side to that side. Yes, so it all depends the way you talk to them.
It depends with how you go about interacting with them.
Yes.
All right.
Make for them story, they laugh, they feel happy about you, and you move on.
All right.
Yes.
D?
All right, so it's just about interactions. Pia unajifanya unajua.
Yes.
Just also being humble. Okay, so to our last tweet now, and Outlook says that just because you are losing your sight or completely blind doesn't mean you can't be independent and travel alone. But how do you stay safe while traveling on your own? I think also this is what I'd love our guest to answer, because yes, there were also comments and just tried to commending him because again, he went out of his way and he just didn't stick by the fact that he was not able to see at that point and just, lie on it. He at least moved an extra mile and tried to become everything, he wanted to become. Just try to be independent. But then again, in terms of traveling alone, because also just following the conversation, he was trying to mention that at times when he was actually staying in Mathare, he would move and walk all the way. But how is it just traveling alone? Did he have someone who went with him, or was he alone? And how was that, that moment for him? How was it just moving from one place to another, sometimes alone? How was it for him?
Of course, it's very tough.
Yeah.
Nobody has time to be taking you around here and there, so you must learn to be very much independent.
Yeah.
On my side, I knew if I take this direction, I'll be able to get to Kenyatta University. If I take this direction, I'll be able to get to town. So I knew how to maneuver. If I have any problem, I could ask somebody, hey, come here, please. You ask. From here, how do I get to the main road? This you should be able to go. Why don't you take me there? Now it becomes now even a little bit easier for me.
All right. So sometimes you needed assistance, but sometimes you were able to find your way
Out.
All right. Any more, D?
Yeah, so that's what we have on both Twitter as well as SMS. But keep your tweets coming, keep your SMSs coming. Our SMS line is 20154, as well as Twitter is, my handle is at Doreen Arange, at Jane Bomboi, at Ram Aguko, and at Ray Manyara. And the hashtag to use on Twitter is hashtag Good Morning Kenya. Of course, we'll continue sampling some of your comments as we move along with the discussion of the day. Jane, that's just what we have both on Twitter as well as SMS.
All right, and just one more tweet from my end. This is Kamche, who's saying, Odongo's story is really inspiring. He was indeed destined for greatness. As my screen goes off, when a door is open, surely no one can close it. Just some words of encouragement just to remind you that, you know what, you are destined for greatness, and when one door is opened, another one, no one can surely close it. True. Now, for all the younger kids who look up to you and they're saying, I want to be like a pilot Odongo one day, how would you want to encourage them this morning?
One, they should be very hardworking.
Yeah.
Should also be able to know God, God-fearing people.
Yes.
And be ready to take all that it takes for you to be there. Pilot is very tough. It's a very difficult course. It requires a lot of time, requires a lot of commitment, resources, and if you're not ready for that, if you're a little bit lazy, then you can't make it in this side.
You can't make it. You need hard work and commitment.
Yes.
All right.
A lot of it.
All right. Now remember, he is set to travel to the Netherlands, and he still doesn't have the finances that he needs to facilitate this trip, and he's just out here looking for donors who can be able to come on board. Yes. And help finance the trip.
I will really be very grateful about it.
Yes.
And our paybill number remains to be 547421. Account number is I.
All right. There you have it. You can be able to get in touch with him and get to know how you can assist him. Go represent our country, given he's a deserving man. He has been through so many challenges, but here he is today, still holding on and still staying encouraged. So why don't you go ahead and also encourage him? And of course, before we wind up, you have mentioned President Uhuru Kenyatta over and over and over again. If he is watching right now, what would you like to tell him? There's your camera. Just go ahead and speak to the president. As candid, as honestly, as composed as you may be.
One is about the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Muigai Kenyatta. He inspired me. One, by launching the sector policy for learners and trainees with disabilities. At this time, even mentioning to people that you are having a disability, and yet you are a training pilot, nobody would allow you to be in class or allow you to be in the plane. But because he's the one commander-in-chief and he launched it, I'm there for it. Second, the way he promised to support trainees living with disabilities, I think I deserve his help. And above all, I just want to meet him to share with him before I share this information maybe with other presidents like President Trump, who is, I'm most looking forward to meet him, the Netherlands ambassador, and also the Netherlands Prime Minister, that I'm also scheduled to meet him early January. I think it's important to start from home before you go anywhere else. They can ask you a very simple question. Do you know your president? Yes, I know him. Have you ever met him? No, I only see him on TV. It looks to be very strange. It looks to be very strange. My prayer is, at least maybe if he's watching or his communication team is watching, kindly make it a way for me to meet so that we can have a small discussion prior to my travel to Netherlands on 19th at 11:59 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
There you have it. Daniel Odongo, who is the founder of Blind Pilot K, is also a trainee pilot. You can find him on social media. He will be reminding us his social media once more. And if you're out there and you're watching and you feel you can assist in one way or the other, especially financially, to help him, get all the finances that he needs to travel and go represent Kenya at the International Air Transport Association competition that's going to be happening in the Netherlands, he can represent our country and let us, just come together, especially on social media. Kenyans, we're so good at when it comes to, unifying and being one, especially on social media. So go ahead and support a brother. Let us get him where he ought to be. He has beaten so many odds, and, let's just support our brother. Sindio?
Thank you.
Tukumbushe social media handles once more tukimaliza.
Twitter handle at Blind Pilot Kenya, Instagram at Blind Pilot Kenya, Facebook page at Blind Pilot Kenya, and on the YouTube channel at Blind Pilot Kenya, where you can subscribe and get seeing so many of our videos.
All right, there you have it. Maybe anything more before we get to call it a discussion?
Yeah, we have one more comment on Twitter, and yes, the way you just mentioned, people are really just lauding him for what he has done for himself. But then again, also Godfrey Warui, at Godfrey Warui, he is saying that Daniel Odongo is not only an inspiration to the disabled, but to all. He deserves an attention that he is seeking, and people around the president should stop ignoring him. He just wants to meet the president, and that's all. What's their issue with that? Of course, what he's trying to say is that people should make it easy for him to want to see the president, because, he's really done so much for himself. He's just not an inspiration to the disabled or people living with this kind of disability, but also to all. Of course, just bring that aspect again of learning to love and accept yourself and trying to move past every issue that life brings to you. And then also he has just also mentioned, the kind of message he'd want to give the president if actually he gets the chance to do that. So yes, it's just what Kenyans are saying on social media. Again, just clapping for him, lauding him for the good job that he has done for himself, as well as also just try to help also other people that are living with this kind of condition. So yeah, good job.
All right, thank you so much. I think that's that from the social media front, yeah?
Platform. This was on Twitter. Again, the hashtag is Good Morning Kenya.
All right. Thank you so much. Now remember, we always appreciate your feedback, and thank you so much for interacting with us and just sharing with us your thoughts in regards to this discussion, your comments and your words of encouragement that he has heard. And we appreciate that you chose to send them through right here on Good Morning Kenya. And as of now, we want to just call it a day. Thank you so much for staying tuned. We always appreciate that you choose to start your morning with us right here on Good Morning Kenya. On behalf of the entire crew, Mr. Ramaguko, Ray Manyara, Dorina Rangi on the other side of the studio, and the entire production crew, we absolutely appreciate you. And we just want to say, be sure to join us again tomorrow morning for another fantastic edition of Good Morning Kenya. As always, my name is Jenwan Boy. Do keep talking to us. Do let us know how you always enjoyed the show. Our communication platforms ever remain open. The hashtag once more is Good Morning Kenya. Our official station handle is at KBC Television. Our individual handles at Ray Manyara, at Ramaguko, at Dorina Range, and at Jane Wamboy. Our Facebook page is KBC Channel 1 TV, and our SMS number is 20154. That's that for me. Maybe Doreen, your goodbyes before we get to call it a discussion.
Of course, you've just said it all, but then again, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I'm not a good singer, but all I can do is just continue saying happy birthday to you, and we pray that may heaven continue adding you more life to the amazing lady that you are, for always making Good Morning Kenya this exciting and bubbly and interesting. So nice to work with your girl. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Live to see many, many more. All right, so that is just how we wrap it up this morning on Good Morning Kenya. Of course, just the way you've mentioned, we really do this every other day from Monday through Thursday from 6 to 10 a.m. Pretty exciting interviews, enlightening, inspirational, informative, educative interviews, as well as also just take a look at what is happening on our roads. You do at that again, always at the top of the hour of the traffic link-up segment, bring you up to speed what is happening on our major roads. Try to give you alternative routes if there are any. If there are not any, try to estimate the number of minutes or the time it might take you to leave your home to your destination. We do that every other day. So again, be sure to join us tomorrow for another exciting, interesting episode of Good Morning Kenya. From me and on behalf of the entire team that made this show a success, we say thank you so much for watching. Till tomorrow, have a beautiful morning.